welcome to Unlocking Freedom in Nature and Art. So excited everyone is here today, and I am excited because I have a good friend here. And Olivia's been on a couple different times, which you can always watch her other videos on our YouTube channel, Unlocking Freedom in Nature. But we are so excited we get to have you here, Olivia. Welcome.
Thank you. I am so excited to be back. There's so much new stuff going on here with the Mother Earth effect, and I'm just excited to share everything that we're doing.
So I know you're working on so many different things here. And you're working with a good friend, Coach Lisa Freeman as
Yes,
well.
yes, and Vivi, both of them,
Mm.
and they're doing such a fantastic job. And I'm so excited with the collaboration that we have going on. And through all of this, we've created the Mother Earth Effect LLC. And this, my dear, is a woman's community, and how the business itself is to help women through books, through documentaries, through transformative products, and also it's just to empower women to get their lives back.
And that's awesome. Well, and as you and I both know, nature helps us, and we use it. Both of us use it all the time. So, for our guests that are new and have never heard about you or seen you before, Olivia, I want to take you back and have you give us a little bit about growing up, where you came from, before we dive into the earthing in the book.
Okay. So growing up, I was adopted at the age of 4. And so after I was adopted, my life was just lovely and beautiful. But before I was adopted, I went through a tremendous amount of trauma. I was sexually abused, physically abused, mentally abused, and it was a rough start. However, getting through all that, and by the time I was adopted and raised by 2 wonderful humans, I was able to get myself in a new place where I felt safe. However, at this time, I thought everything was perfect, but I didn't realize that the trauma was still within me. So I was going through life trying to be perfect, trying to be just the perfect mother, the perfect owner of my business. I had a health and wellness business, and I also had a spa. And I just was out there trying to do everything I could do. I was keeping busy, just being busy. But at the time, I didn't realize what I was really doing was stuffing down a lot of this trauma that I had going on within me. So through all of that, I came out on the other side one day when I met Clint Ober at a conference, because my wellness company that I had took me to this conference, and I would go set up and work with holistic doctors and sell products to them that I was selling through my company. And I met Clint Ober, and it was a 30-minute session. He grounded me, meaning he put some patches on the bottom of my feet, and I sat down for actually 30 minutes, which I was surprised because I was always running around like I was so busy. And I sat down, and those 30 minutes literally changed my life. When he was done, I stood up, I took a deep breath, and I felt so present for the first time in years. And my heart felt so, it just like opened up. It opened up, and I thought, something is going on here. I need to investigate this. So he gave me a book. And that night, I went back to my hotel room. My staff all went out to go have dinner, and I couldn't go because I needed to investigate this, because immediately I thought, this is what I need to take back to my wellness center for all my clients. So, needless to say, I started grounding, earthing, bringing it into my wellness center, and it's been life changing for me. I was not aware how disconnected I had been from the earth. And once I reconnected, whether it be outdoors or indoor products, life has changed for me.
That's amazing. One of the things, like we were talking about earlier, is sometimes if we're too busy, it's like I've been working out in our woods and stuff, and I've been exhausted because I'm working. So I'm so busy and so focused on doing this or that that I forget to take the moment to just breathe
Yes.
and to enjoy.
Yes.
One of the things that's been reminding me a lot, and this is kind of a funny story, is there's this young buck that since we've been parking out our place, all the deer have really been coming in even more, or we just at least can see him more, right? And he's been hanging around like 10 feet from me, 20 feet from me, or he turn around and he's just like up above the bank looking down on me. And it's
Mm.
like, it takes me back. So at that moment, of course, I'm just focused on enjoying that moment.
Yes.
And when you enjoy it, take that time to enjoy that moment. It's it's amazing because, like you said, we get so busy in our everyday lives that we forget to take the time.
Hmm.
And earthing is so awesome, actually. So go
Yeah.
ahead and finish your story.
Well, so I took this back into the wellness center and I realized the difference it was making. And I also realized it was time for me to make a change. And I boldly asked Clint Ober if I could work with him. He is the founder of earthing.com. He pioneered the indoor earthing products. And he was after that conference, he was coming out to my wellness center and grounding people. So I just knew that it was time for a change. And I asked him, and he said, sure, come along for the ride. So I've been working with him for about 13 years, traveling around the world, educating and promoting earthing. And it has just been life changing. And it was something that was calling within me to slow down. My life now is very peaceful and very joyful and meaningful, and I'm so much more present. And I do go outside and sit where I live. There's this huge pond, and I'll put my bare feet on the cement and I'll wet the cement a little bit, and I'll just sit out there and look at the beautiful flowers, the greenery, the grass, just take a beautiful look at everything. And then also, the birds are just so beautiful out there. We have ducks, geese, and all these little fabulous birds making all this gorgeous music. And I just sit out there and relax. And a lot of times I'll have my little dog Bodie on my lap. And I'm just so grateful for the earth, for Mother Earth. I'm so grateful that I slowed down and found what I truly needed to reconnect to the earth and to myself because I was so disconnected. Like I said, I was busy being busy. And now I am out, we do have books and I am out speaking and I am doing so much. However, I'm doing what I'm called to do.
Yeah. So I want to say hi to Aaron, Angela, Vanessa, and Harriet. Thank you so much for watching. And if I didn't mention your name, it's because I don't always see every name or every question. So, but if you have any questions for Olivia, be sure to ask. But I agree with you, Olivia. It's when we are able to get out. I mean, I think that's even why my cats always want to sneak outside
Hmm.
because they love so I open all the screens and they're kittens, so I'm not letting them out right now.
Hmm.
But there's just something about nature, right? It's
Yes.
kind of like when we were bringing in we had my old hanging baskets out and the birds had built a nest in it. And I was exchanging the new flowers. And the mom and dad sat up there. I sat the other one, put gloves on, and I actually picked up the bird nest and put it in the new one. And I'm like going, oh, I hope they accept it. And they
Yeah.
did.
Yes. And that's beautiful just to take your time to do something like that. And you know, being grounded, the nervous system, we get so out of whack and we get so wired up. And when you are grounded, your body shifts from fight or flight. And immediately you can just feel the calmness through your body. You can feel your muscles relaxing, and you can just, it's a joyful feeling that I feel every time I get grounded. Now, I am grounded through most of the day because I have indoor grounding products. I do go outside and ground and receive that beautiful sunshine and feel the breeze on my face and just enjoy nature. And I'm so grateful for it, for reconnecting. However, when I cannot be outside, I go indoors and I am grounded. Now, if there's times where I'm traveling and I have so much to do and I don't get the amount of grounding that I need, I can feel the difference in my body. But I am telling you, the shift for our nervous system by being grounded is so huge, and it's so calming. And it's just nature saying, here, it's free. It's your birthright. Go outside and get some. And if you can't, do it indoors.
Right. Well, and I am so grateful for your grounding equipment, like your mattress pad and different things, because I do use those as well, especially like in the wintertime. But I mean, of
Hmm.
course, the mattress cover pad is on my bed year round, right?
Hmm.
But having that is such a blessing. But it's like just before the show, I walked outside, just to breathe in, listen to the birds,
Hmm.
breathe in that fresh air, to be barefoot out there. Just felt so good. And I notice a difference when I go on just a short hike, or just even if it's just hiking through my yard, a barefoot,
Hmm.
or at least, but my attitude changes.
Oh, yes. And that is what's huge. And like I will take my grandkids come and visit, and there's a lot of grass where I live, and they're running wild in the grass, and they're so happy, and they want to roll around and just enjoy themselves. And sometimes the sprinklers will come on and I'll let them get wet because they're just living their beautiful little life. And we're just sitting out there together being present with nature. And I feel like I didn't do that as much with my own children when I was raising them. I was so worried about them being clean and all of this stuff that I had in my head. And then when I did learn about the importance of becoming grounded and just being one with the earth, it just everything shift because like I said, I reconnected to myself because I was so disconnected. And a lot of us with all these electronics, we're on our computer, we're on our phone, we're watching TV, we're not outside, we're not grounding and getting connected. And I just can't say enough about the importance of letting Mother Earth take care of us. She's right under our feet. Let her do what she's here to do, right?
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. It's free. It's free. And I do have a community that I'm working on building to teach more about or to educate more about the importance of reconnecting to the earth and to yourself. And what something I learned was that women live 10 years longer when they have community. And when they don't have community, they're sad, they're alone. And well, maybe some people are, maybe some people just want peace. I don't know. But community is so important. And so I am working on building a community to share all this information. And also February 27, I'm hosting my first California retreat here because I've been doing them in North Carolina, and I decided to do one in Joshua Tree. It's beautiful out there. It's just gorgeous. Joshua Tree is in California. And so I'm going to be hosting a retreat there and educating more on earthing, grounding, and just coming home to yourself. Not a new you, just coming home to who you are and reconnecting with yourself. So these are part of what the Mother Earth effect is: the retreats, the community, education. The community is free. You sign up, there's no charge. And I've done different types of programs with menopause and had groups of women speaking to each other on Zoom and learning about what other women are going through. And I have found that it's so important because one woman might say something that another woman hasn't heard, and then they'll put in the chat, I'm so grateful that so and so said this because I wanted to ask that, but I was embarrassed or I just, couldn't ask it. So it's a group of women getting together, helping each other. And that is community. And I think the community is so important for all of us women.
Well, community is very important. So, and I love our community that have here, even in this group.
Mm-hmm.
And if people are listening, you can tell why Olivia and I get along so well. Because we both just love nature and we could just talk and talk. And my retreats are, or if you want to come and hang out with me individually, I'm I'm just like Olivia. I wanted you to experience and to learn when you're here. I take
Mm-hmm.
it for granted because I grew up, on farms. I grew up fishing and doing all of this stuff. But one of the things, like you were mentioning, is too many times we get together. I mean, it happened a few weeks ago at my grandkids. Everybody's sitting in there. I walk into the room and everybody's sitting there on their phones instead of doing anything, So the one thing that I found is when you go out in nature, unless you're taking a photo with your phone, put the phones away because you just learn and you can take in so much. And don't play music, just listen to the animals, the birds, all the noises that are there. Or it might just be the wind in the leaves or the needles, or maybe a brook that's
Mm-hmm.
babbling or a stream, There's
Yeah.
just so much.
There is. And something I do with my grandkids is that we take a silent meditation walk, is what I call it for them. And we don't talk for as long as they can not talk. I don't say, if someone talks, I'm like, I would just say, okay, that's how long they could go. But what we do is before we start, I ask them, take a look at the trees, take a look at the flowers. And when we come back, let's talk about when we're all chatting what you did see and show us all what you liked and what you like about it. And it's just very peaceful and very nice. And they do, the girls may have noticed a flower. My grandson may have noticed a stick he likes the way it's shaped like a sword or something. However, it's just teaching them about being one with themselves and connected to nature. And I think the earlier we teach our children, our grandchildren, the better off we will all be. Because I was 52 before I was grounded, and that was, obviously when I was younger, I was running around barefoot and being connected to the earth. But at that time, I just felt good. I didn't know what it was all about. But when I did learn about nature, really was when I was 52 to really embrace it and connect it and be one and be thankful for everything that is out there to offer us. And like we said, it's free, but if you have some physical problems and you need more grounding, then you go indoors and you use the indoor grounding. And it's just been, I am telling you, when I had my wellness center and my spa for 18 years, never in my life did I think I would be doing this. However, it's happened, and I'm so grateful that it's happened because it's changed my life tremendously. And I've met so many amazing people, and I'm just so grateful for everything I'm learning.
That's amazing. So what's funny is when you're talking about what you had your grandkids do, that's what I have every art student do. Or they can even work before I even have them work on painting. Now we have one guest that's Harriet said, we live in a senior living apartment on the third floor and we leave a window open at night. As the sun rises, I can hear the birds first thing as I wake, and I look at the huge fir trees and the squirrels. It is a good way just to thank God for his creation first thing in the morning. I feel connected and realizing God's creation is a blessing.
That's
So,
beautiful, Harriet. Just beautiful. And the awareness of that is what's so beautiful, is that you're so aware of that. Before I would just pop out of bed, go get ready for work and just go and not pay attention to anything. And now that I become connected, reconnected to the earth, I notice so much more. And and I am grateful for so much more, because it's it I will say that yesterday I was listening to the song Mother I Feel You Under My Feet. It's a Mother Earth song, and I was listening to that and I just had chills everywhere, because I know how much joy and peace I have received from reconnecting.
so yeah, I get it, and I actually feel sorry for those that don't, because I think if more people actually connected, they'd be happier.
Yeah.
Because I think, and they'd be kinder. When there's just something about, it's like you take a group, and I noticed that a lot of therapists are taking their clients on walks or spending more time in nature, because it helps bring that person out, and it brings the good out, and it brings calmness.
Yes. It truly does. And like I said, when I was raising my children, I was about keeping them clean and not letting them get dirty. And
You
I,
were
I
just
was
thinking of the laundry you had to do later.
I was just a totally different person. And the change and the peace that I receive now is so much more important. It's okay if the bottom of my feet get dirty, and that I'm out in nature and I'm walking barefoot, and that I am laying in the grass. Like when my little grandgirls were rolling in the grass, I really just was like, oh, and then I was like, no, 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 it's totally fine. Let them do their thing. And so they were rolling down the hill. And so I let them. And when they wanted to run through the sprinklers, I was like, okay, that's fine. But I have become just this a whole different human. And the earth had been under my feet for so many years. Like I said, the first time was 52. And that I really, I guess, had a learning about it, education, a knowing that there was this difference. And now I just can't stop talking about it.
I totally get it. So, but it's like I always learn something new every time I go out. And even though I might have hiked those trails or seen this, but it surprises me sometimes, even just the animals,
Hmm.
or the birds, how they react to different things or don't react. I mean, I've experienced more things than most people ever have, and but to me, it's such a blessing.
It truly is. And like I said, this the Mother Earth effect, community, the business, all of it combined is where I needed to be, because helping to educate other women about earthing, I learn more myself about myself as I'm doing it. And it's a rewarding. This is so rewarding to me, being in this place of educating about the earth. And
Well, you're able to help, hundreds of or thousands of people doing this and having those grounding materials and different things for people that can't get out, that
mhm,
can only open a window, is a blessing as well.
it truly is. And what I learned through all this is that pain can be turned into purpose. I shared in the beginning about the pain I had as a child. And I took the pain and I turned it into purpose when I learned about earthing and sharing this. And I also learned that healing is made to be shared. When I started healing, I needed to talk about it and not feel ashamed or embarrassed that I had been through all this. Instead, I started sharing it with other women, and I was surprised how many women had gone through something similar and hadn't talked about it. And being able to hear someone else talk about it and to see that obviously I've survived. I'm totally fine. I'm still growing and learning. And however, that I think that's very important that I decided to start sharing the healing.
Well, and you kind of do that with your book too,
Yes.
like with both of your books, especially the latest one, right?
Yes, yes. And you are an author in this book. Yes, this says 22 beautiful women in this book. And this was not meant to be one person in this book. It was not meant for me to just write my story. This was meant for all the courageous women that stepped up and that would email me and tell me their stories, that they were able to be in this book and share their stories. And the reason for this is because when somebody opens this book, you don't know if they're going to find themselves in this book by one of the stories, or they might see their mother or their sister or a friend that may be going through something that one of these ladies went through. So it's very important that the book is shared. And when you do order an earthing product, you do get a copy of the book, but also you can get it on Amazon. But when you open the book and you see somebody that may be going through cancer, maybe depressed, whatever it is that the story is, you'll see your friend and you will tell her about it. And it's a very easy read. It's just individual stories from just beautiful, courageous women that I'm so grateful were willing to put their stories in this book.
Well, thank you for allowing us to share this with you. So, um, it, it's been a great experience, and I'm waiting for my book to get here. Like I was telling you, mine was on back order,
Uh-huh.
but I'm excited because, like you said, there I know a lot of the women that are in the book, and they are amazing stories.
Yes. A
And
lot of
everybody
them.
has amazing stories. A lot of times, what I find though is a lot of times people don't take the time to listen. I'm hoping that they'll read and they'll listen with their eyes and their heart when they read those
Yeah.
stories.
Yes, I agree. And I feel that sharing these stories is just a part of us all giving back. Everybody that put this story in there is giving back to other women that can read these stories and just start their own healing process, and recognizing, because a lot of these women were doing indoor and outdoor grounding, and they can recognize what they were doing and what helped them, and that could possibly also help themselves to move forward in their life. And a lot of times we go through, well, not a lot of times, we all go through seasons in our life. You know, we may get a divorce, we may lose a parent, we may be an empty nester, we all go through menopause as women. So there's so many different seasons that we all go through, and we can learn so much from each other. And women sharing with other women is beautiful.
Oh, it is. You know, it's kind of like in my story, I kind of talk about it. Was I didn't even realize because the doctors are like you're just going to have to find pain management, and I took their classes in pain management. And I was like, okay, this really isn't helping. But then it dawned on me later. Sometimes things don't. It's like you feel like you're blind to stuff
Mm-hmm.
right in front of you. But later on, I realized it was my art in the nature, the time I was spending in nature that was helping me through
Mm-hmm.
all of my pain and stuff. And I was telling this to a friend the other day because the doctor told her, it's like, you need to learn pain management. And I'm like, that means you need to spend more time in nature,
Yeah.
for grounding, to take your mind off of what you're going through and dealing with, because otherwise you could be hooked to drugs constantly, right? But when you're spending time in nature, this is what my experience is fine. It helps take my mind off all of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the grounding sheets and those different things help so, so much.
Yeah. All of it together, everything that we can do together helps. And now, I do appreciate a doctor. If I get a broken leg,
Oh,
I
yes,
appreciate
definitely.
a doctor.
Oh, yes. You need doctors
Yeah.
for something. So
However,
when they sit there and they tell you in your office, sorry, the surgery is too high risk, we're canceling
Hmm.
it because you won't survive. You have to find other ways to deal with it.
Exactly, exactly. And going out in nature and trying that and, or trying the indoor products can really make a difference for someone. And I say just go outside for, 30 minutes and try it and see how you feel. And like we keep saying, it's free. So go give it a try and see what happens. And it's life changing. It took me 30 minutes and I I sold my business and I started running around the world talking about the importance of getting grounded, earthing.
So here's a question. What are some common misconceptions people have about earthing or energy healing?
Misconceptions. Well, for the indoor grounding, the misconception I will say is that some people are afraid they're going to get electrocuted. But when
I've
you
seen
do,
that.
yeah, when you do the indoor grounding, you're actually connected to the ground. It's just like being outside in nature, the same thing indoors. And so if I had an adapter here, I would show you, but the little adapter goes into the ground hole on the plug and it just goes straight in there. So there's no electricity, nothing. It's just ground and it's just like being out in nature. So, that is one of the biggest things that's talked about or, women are afraid of. But then when they realize that it is just like being on the ground, outdoors. Here's one of our adapters right here. See, this just goes straight into the ground. And that's all it is. It's ground. And you will find sometimes you will get tingling when you're first grounded, you'll get this tingling through your legs, your hands, and it's just draining inflammation out of your body. And that's what grounding does. It drains the inflammation out of the body and helps your body to return back to its natural state. And I always recommend sleeping grounding is the best way to go because you're in a restful state for 6 to 8 hours and your body just can lay there and relax. And it's not something else you're adding to your routine. Once you put your bed mat on and you plug it in to the ground, you just go to sleep every night. And it's not like when you get a new treatment or, a new skincare that you have to add and then you stop using it because you had to add something new. Instead, this just stays on your bed and you go to bed and take a restful sleep.
Well, and it's kind of like some of the best, like vitamins and different things. You may not notice you might think, oh, 2 weeks later, oh, it's not working, but it actually is.
Hmm.
It's when you don't use it,
Yes,
that's when you notice that it's
that's
like,
when,
oh my gosh, it worked better than I thought it did.
yes.
I need that. And the whole reason I asked you that question because there's a lot of false media out there,
Hmm.
and I know that earthing and grounding is so vital. But you can go on the internet and find it negative or positive against anything.
Hmm.
But I want people to reach out to you or to learn that no, earthing and grounding is real and it's healthy.
Yes, it truly is. In fact, we are grounding the fire stations. I have I have a lot of fire stations in Arizona. For some reason, they're all popping up in Arizona, but the beds that the firefighters sleep on are grounded. And the grounded mat stays on their beds. And the wellness directors came to us and talked to us about grounding. And we decided we would ground the fire stations and so this is a give back to them. We do this complimentary. We ship the products out and we have the bed mat for the firefighters and they all sleep grounded. And we've got maybe 7,000 beds grounded out there already. And
Wow,
you
what a
have to,
blessing.
yeah, and there's shifts that the firefighters take. So it's not just one firefighter, it's other ones, that come and sleep on that bed. So there's a lot of firefighters getting grounded because, I mean, the job that they do, it's a lot on their bodies the sleep, the stress, the smoke, all of it. So, yes, we do have many firefighters grounded.
So,
And if they trust us, so should many more.
yes, Definitely.
Mm.
So you've worked with, let me see, I had a question here. I'm just like trying to find where it went. For someone struggling emotionally right now, what is one simple practice they can start today to reconnect with themselves?
Go outside. Put your bare feet on the earth. Put it on some soil. Put it on the grass. Put your feet on some cement. And like I said, dampen the cement and just sit there calmly and just sit for maybe 30 minutes. And you can feel the stress, the calmness starts to go through your body, the stress starts to drain. And like I said, if you do, a lot of us carry a lot of inflammation. And so the inflammation drains out of the body. You'll have this peaceful sense through your whole body. You'll just feel so peaceful and so grateful. And it's just the most calming feeling you can have. And it's just go outside and do it. And it'll take it, it'll take your worries away.
I totally 100% agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing, and it's like my husband even says, he goes, when you come back from a hike, he's like, you just glow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's because you just get away. I have to get away from stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do live on acreage. I'm blessed. I have my ponds and waterfalls, and I have all of that here. But sometimes I need to go and hike and go elsewhere because I see, like, oh, that weed needs pull.
Yeah.
I see the little things, right? And sometimes it's just because I want to get away from the phone too.
Mm.
So it's easy. So I like to leave a couple times, just, and we're talking only 5 minutes away. So that's not
Mm-hmm.
that far. Or to go out on the water during the
Mm-hmm.
summertime because water is healing too.
Yes. Very healing. And just, I just, for anyone struggling, go outside. Just go outside and just release it all and let it go. Reconnect to nature and to yourself. It's that simple. I can't say it enough.
So, and another question for you. What do you hope readers walk away feeling or reading after they read this new book of yours, The Mother Earth Effect?
I hope they walk away, if they didn't find themselves and they found a friend, that they realize the importance of this book is meant to be shared. And that when they read these stories, they can feel when they read my story, you'll feel, I mean, because it's talking about the trauma. And that's why I'm saying earthing helps so much with trauma. I mean, there's so many things to do, but it does help. But the stories in here for people a woman that was suffering stage 4 cancer, and then she found hope by using these products. And so you don't know what different people are struggling with, but the book is easy enough to share. And maybe even if a friend hasn't told you their struggles and they take a look at this book and they find that there is something in this book that can help them to get their life back. Because, we all had our hopes and dreams, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're still out there. I mean, we, like I said, we go through different seasons, but sometimes because we have pain in our knees or pain in our hips or pain in our heart, pain in our head from stress and sadness and depression, there is a way to get back to the life you want to live. When you read this book, you will see that there is a simple way to get back to reconnecting to yourself. And that is by going outside and getting grounded and sharing this book with friends and family. It's a beautiful book.
It is. So, and it's like, yes, when you go outside and you hike and stuff, it's not guaranteed it's gonna heal from cancer. But
No, no.
this is what I want people to realize. A child doesn't, if they get cancer, they usually they heal faster than
Hmm.
as adults because they're not
Yeah.
stressing over it.
Yes.
Well, what walking in nature and grounding, it helps relieve that stress. It helps take our mind off those kind of things so we actually can heal. So I want people to think that it heals your soul.
Hmm.
That's what it's so good for, besides our own body physically, but I think it's emotionally, it's healing as well.
Yes, it is very important. I worked with school teachers. The school would give me a certain amount of school teachers every year to work with, and they would get a bed mat and a pillow cover. And what I would do is first start off with the pillow cover. And what I noticed when they started using the pillow cover is they started to feel better mentally. Life was shifting for them. They were feeling better. They were happier. They were less stressed. And then when they used the bed mat, they were feeling better with their inflammation. They were feeling better, aches and pains. A lot of school teachers are on their feet all day and their feet were feeling better. But the importance of what's going on in here is it's huge. I mean, and I knew Marielle Hemingway is she did the fort here, and I knew she was a perfect person because she came from a family that suffered from suicide, and she truly believed in earthing and grounding. And as a child, she would go find refuge out in her yard when all the chaos would happen within her home. She would go outside. At the time, she didn't realize what was happening, but she knew if she went outside into nature, she felt better. And so she is an ambassador for the Mother Earth effect because she knows how life changing that can be for the mind.
Yeah. So it's like, I want to put this out there. Don't listen to all the horror stories about how dangerous the woods or danger outside, right? Yes, be aware of different things. Always take water, especially if it's hot
Mm-hmm.
out. I always have a pack on, but just go and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Media fears puts fear for everything
Yeah.
there, and it's funny is how I've had people like, oh, how can you live out there? Isn't that scary? And I was like, no, actually, living in town would be just as scary for
Yeah.
me, or
Yeah.
scarier.
Yes.
So I want people to realize it's okay. Take a deep breath, go on a walk, enjoy life. Take the time, right?
Yes. Please take the time for yourself. Give yourself, if you're a busy mom with little ones at home, try to cut 15, 20 minutes just to go outside. And maybe even if your children are playing outside and you can take your shoes off and get grounded while they're doing that, it will be refreshing for yourself and helpful for yourself. So just take the time to get connected to the earth and to yourself.
So, Olivia, for the group here, are you going to make sure you share the school or the different things if anybody's interested in following you so they can find you or order your book? We'll make sure we put it the
Mhm.
links. I actually shared it in our group, the link to Amazon to order the book
Mhm.
as well. But
They can get a hold of me through Olivia at themotherEarthEffect.com. If they have any questions regarding anything, just get a hold of me through Olivia at themotherEarthEffect.com, and I will reply to you there. And if you're interested in the retreat in February, I do an alignment call and I can go over that with you. Or if you're interested in joining the community, I can send you the link so you can join the community. And our website is themotherEarthEffect.com. There's already great videos on there that you can go and watch. And really, this is a company to empower women to help them to get their lives back. And, anybody that has any stories out there that they'd like to share with me, please email them to me. I love to hear your stories about grounding or earthing. And if if you're just new to this, I'd like to see how I can help you to get grounded, reconnected to yourself because it's so important.
So, quick question here. How long is your retreat? And you said it's next April?
No, it's February 3rd
Okay,
and it ends
February.
on the 8th, and it's 2027, and it's in Joshua Tree, California. And I only have space for 10 ladies. And I believe we already have 5 ladies reserved. So it's, I can, everything is included, meaning all your meals and your lodging. We're all in one beautiful home, and it's just gorgeous. And I can send you, a video of what the home looks like. So everything's included. We stay in one place. And if you're flying from out of town, you just go into Palm Springs, California, and a quick drive out to Joshua Tree. And I've been there. I've been to a retreat there. And I knew when I was going to do my first retreat in California, it needed to be at this location.
Awesome. So, well, I'm excited. Thank you so much for being here today. Any
Oh,
last words or anything that you would like to share with our audience?
I just ask them to reach out to me if they have any questions about earthing and grounding. And I am so grateful to be a part of your community, Tammy. Thank you for having me here today. And I know you love nature, and I think the both of us getting out there and talking about nature will get so many women feeling better and healing naturally and just getting connected with themselves.
You know what, Olivia? I think one day you and I need to spend the day together or a weekend.
I do too. I think you should come to my retreat.
Or you can come to mine in July.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it, and you'll meet so many amazing women that are coming out. You'll meet so many amazing women, and some of them are from my North Carolina retreat, and I'm so blessed that they keep wanting to come back.
Well, they are amazing women.
Yes,
So,
and I did want to do a shout out to the writing of the book, because a lot of the women in this book are part of the writing of the book, and I became a part of the writing of the book. I think it was 5 years ago, and I've made so many connections, so many friends, and built community. And I am so grateful for that. And like I said, I think there's 5 or 6 stories in there from women from the writing of the book, and that's just building community and finding your people. And that's where I met Lisa. Well, Lisa and I were in another book together, and we became friends on there. And now she's, my PR, her and Vivi are doing great with the PR for myself. And I mean, they've taken me from the very bottom to the top. I am telling you, I'm so grateful to have them and to be one in sharing what the vision is for the Mother Earth Effect for this company.
and that's awesome. I know. I love Corey and Lisa,
Hmm.
right? From the writing of the book. It is an amazing group. And when you get a chance, I encourage people to watch their podcast that they have.
Yes.
It's like what, once a month, I think now.
Yes, it's once a month, and they have some really amazing humans come on there and share their stories. And there's a lot of learning, so much learning, and that sometimes we don't realize it until we listen. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. And I think that that is so important. And I mean, they have doctors come on, they have entrepreneurs come on, and I'm always learning something when I listen to the Writing of the Books podcast.
And so, well, thank you so much. I always learn so much from my guest speakers because experts in your field, and we've had a lot of therapists, we've had doctors, speakers from every walks of life. So, thank you so, so much. I really,
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you. I appreciate that. And I feel blessed to know that you're my friend. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for your blessings. And I want to say thank you to everyone who is watching, who supports us, who shares stories, shares posts. I really appreciate that when you do that. It helps me out. So, and it keeps our group active. And be sure to invite anyone that you feel that these stories could help. So, thank you so much for being here. You can check out my website, unlockingfreedominnature.com. And be sure to check out our Monday marketing. On there, I invite every one of our guest speakers, or if you know somebody, to share your links for the retreats or for books, for different things that would help our community in our community. So thank you again for being here, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have a great week.
Thank
Bye.
you.